The young bull himself is back in action, guys, and he's going to have to fight through a very interesting competition as the door has been opened wide for the point guard spot in Utah. Welcome back to another video, guys. As always, it's your boy Wraith Hoops. Make sure to like this video, comment your thoughts on it, and smash that subscribe button for me. Now, at 6'2" with a 6'6" wingspan, Collin Sexton doesn't jump off the page from a frame standpoint at the one guard position, but that's just where he fits in. Now, he has been a pretty efficient player over the course of his career, though the past couple years have been a little bit injury-ridden for him. Now, with the Cavaliers in this final season, he did end up only playing in 11 games, averaging 16 points, shooting 45% from the floor. This past season with the Jazz, he did play in 48 games. He only started in 15, averaging roughly 24 minutes a contest, and he averaged 14 points, shooting 50.6% from the field, 39% from the three-point line, and 2 rebounds to go with about 3 assists. He's a little bit turnover prone, I will admit, but the expectation is up here for him. Now, he is coming back from injury, so there is a little bit of grace to give him, but I expect by the end of the season, we should see him back and running in his prime condition. And this is on a Jazz team that really, after last season, is expected to take a huge leap. They did add John Collins to the roster. They did unload Rudy Gay, and Lauri Markkanen, if he plays the same way he did last year, should offer them the ability to be a dark horse to make a deep playoff run. I'm not ready to call them contenders. That remains to be seen. They've still got some work to do. But I would like to see them be a little bit of a better achieving team than the Jazz were back when they had Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Because like I did say in a previous video, Walker Kessler, in my eyes, is already at the very least at the bottom of the barrel of expectations at Rudy Gobert's level. They made a trade, ended up fleecing the teams that they played ball with in those deals, and ended up getting a good replacement for Rudy Gobert without anybody really noticing. Now, we're seeing Walker Kessler get some more minutes in Team USA play in the FIBA World Championships. Now, you get to see a better scope of the type of player that Walker Kessler is at the Team USA practices and more so in the games most recently because he's been playing a larger multitude of minutes. Now, how does this relate to Collin Sexton? Well, the point guard spot has been opened up, and officially we know that it's just whoever plays the hardest in training camp, whoever fits the mold for what they want, is going to be the guy that they end up running with. I personally am on the Collin Sexton train all the way. Young bull since the beginning of time, when he was at Pepperbrook, when he was at Alabama, when he was with the Cavaliers. Eventually, obviously, Darius Garland ended up being the point guard that they wanted to lean on for the foreseeable future, and so he got unloaded in that deal. Fine by me. He's going to have the opportunity to earn the spot as a starting point guard, become a leader on this roster, and take that next step as being a 20-point-per-game scorer and an efficient passer of the basketball, because that's going to be his number one task. Can he handle the rock without turning it over? He's averaged less than a 1.5 turnover to assist ratio, so he's not really getting the job done so far. But we're hoping that this upcoming year, he's going to be able to make waves with his motion. Over the course of his career, he averages 19 points, 2 rebounds, and 3.2 assists, shooting 46.4% from the field, 38% from the three-point line, and 82.5% from the free throw line. Admittedly, his efficient field goal percentage is 51%, but if last season's healthy games were any indicator of who he is, that percentage did jump to 56, and while he did average less points, rebounds, and assists, he also did shoot 50% from the field and 39% from the three-point line. He is 24 going on 25 years old, so he does have a lot more room to grow before we would consider him to be in his prime. But we do expect him to be a guy that takes that next step very soon. He's a good player. At times, he's a great player, but we want to see him be a great player that's sometimes an elite player. I think that we could see him in a conversation with the Shai Gilgeous-Alexanders of the world. Now, admittedly, Shai has more advantages as far as just simply physical frame goes. He's a very efficient player. You saw him average 30 points last season, but he also has the frame and build and athleticism to be a terror on defense, and he was a true two-way nightmare last year. I don't think we'll ever see that out of Collin Sexton, but I do see the intensity that he plays with on the defensive side of the ball despite being undersized. And if he takes that same approach that he does on the offensive side of the ball on defense, you're not going to be able to exploit him. Similarly to how Curry was, however, I would say Collin Sexton is a more tenacious defender the Warriors were able to scheme a defensive concept that allowed Curry to not get consistently exposed on that side of the ball, especially since for a certain period of time in his career, he did have glass ankles, and now you see him with ankle supports. Collin Sexton doesn't have necessarily that issue. He's just smaller, but he's a dog in the minutes that he plays no matter who he's forced to guard. I would like to see a little bit more help, and when you do have a player like Walker Kessler protecting you at the rim, blocking roughly 7% of the shots, 8% of the shots, when he's on the court, that's a really big game changer, because before, Rudy Gobert was setting the precedent while averaging roughly 7.3% of shots being blocked in his prime years. Now, he did since drop down to 6%, and last season, I believe it was 5% roughly on the new team being the Timberwolves that he was on. So it didn't really work out that well, and it was very easy to assume that Walker Kessler had already superseded him. But I also like Walker Kessler's offensive game better. If Collin Sexton can, throw better lob passes, make better entry passes to the post, you're going to see Walker Kessler become a more immersed offensive player, as he's already been a solid defensive player and a great defensive player at that. And you can see that Collin Sexton can make better opportunities and easy opportunities for himself without being turnover prone. And that's the thing that I'm looking forward to most coming into this next season. With that being said, let me hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section. Make sure to like this video, subscribe if you are a Jazz fan, or if you just like Collin Sexton. If you have another player that you would like me to focus in more so on, go ahead and drop their name in the comment section for me as well. As always, good morning, good evening, good night, no matter where you are on the globe watching. Thanks for tuning into this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.